Hey folks, today we're looking at the Shuoer EJ07. So this IEM has a 10 millimeter dynamic driver. I don't know if you can see it in there. Let's see if we can get that there. And then we got two balanced armatures for mid-range and two electrostatic drivers for treble. So let's just kind of check out this IEM a little bit. It has 3 soundbores. I'm using Comply large tips, isolation tips, and basically when it comes to balanced armatures and I'm supposing the EST drivers, having a really good tight seal is the best thing you could possibly have. So these kind of tips really do a good job. You smash them up and shove them in your ears, and when they expand, it is like a seal like nothing other. 2-pin connection on these. The cable is actually really nice fabric coated copper cable. I haven't actually removed it because I don't really want to mess with it too much, but fit and finish on these is quite nice. The tip, like the tip you put in your ear, is hollow, and the sort of the back end of the IEM that pokes out of your ear is the tip is filled and the back end is hollow. And the reason why the back end is hollow is because that dynamic driver in there needs some airspace to breathe, to do its thing. So kind of unique. Sort of a downside with the hollow space in the back is that cable noise coming through this cable, say it bonks you or rubs on something, you can kind of hear that in your ear pretty decently, versus a totally filled IEM, which wouldn't do that. So isolation, we'll say, is medium, pretty good. I don't think you can customize anything on these, as far as I know. Pretty much just comes like this with this cool looking, well, I don't really know what it is, Shuoer logo on it. So that's interesting, I suppose. They do fit quite well in my ears, good seal. They're actually not too heavy, being as that they're sort of half hollow. So the bass on these is amazing, actually, just fantastical. The extension, well, the way it's tuned is kind of the, we'll call it the mid bass. So everything below about 1000 hertz is relatively flatline, all the way to about 60, maybe 70 hertz. And then you get a nice big, say 5-6 dB bump going up towards 20 hertz. Which is kind of my favorite. So that ends up meaning that the dynamic driver sounds like a subwoofer in these. The balanced armatures are tuned in a way that it's called diffuse field tuning, which is probably best known for etymodic IEMs, and that means that the mids are going to be extremely bold, clear. They're not at all dipped in any way, so you have a really nice big mid bump starting at like 1K, going up to, I don't know, about maybe 4K, and then dipping down. A couple little, there's a dip and then another peak after that where the electrostatics kind of kick in there and do their magic. And speaking of them, I want to say the sound stage, the wideness of the electrostatic drivers in that range is just outstanding. It's just amazing. They're outside the head for sure, at least for me, and wider than my ears, and the field they present is really 3D. It goes up, it goes down, it goes wide, it goes deep, it goes behind your head. It is just phenomenal. And so, like, I was kind of wanting to discount these IEMs as being, or not these, but I mean just electrostatic driver IEMs as being overpriced and sort of gimmicky, but I think I hear the magic in these. The treble is pretty much unlike anything else I've ever heard. So like it has a really, really good amount of resolution. Now they do dip down above 10K, and some people think that that means that there's going to be bad like micro detail, bad like air. I'm not hearing that, but I am not that picky when it comes to the sound above 10K. I really am picky below 10K. So I don't know that, the meat of the music, definitely below that and definitely in the mids. But the treble on those are just phenomenal. What else can we say? Like 3D micro detail just jumps out from all directions, above you, below you, behind your ears. The resolution is incredible and not peaky in that range either, which I think for balanced armature IEMs, I'm used to sort of a peaky kind of signature. Or something, some peakiness in the treble, or maybe it's a tinniness. I'm not 100% sure, but these don't have that. They sound just like, I suppose, well, they don't sound just like anything really I've ever heard. So that's interesting. Closer to like big monitor speakers in a room, but not just like that either. They're sort of better. The resolution is incredible. But not like in an artificial way. So, I mean, overall, I don't know what I expected out of these. I mean, I looked at the graph, got a big sub bass bump, like really, really flat mid bass, and then a huge mids bump, like Etymotic. And I mean, I do like that, but I don't know what to expect. A lot of people get that wrong, and then you get this sort of screechy, shouty mid range, which is just not nice. Not these. These do it right. And another thing, so they just sound like maybe slightly thin, below, say 90 decibels. Not thin, but not like punchy. They sound polite. And above 90, they start to really sing, and then above 100, which I know, right? 100 decibels, right? Yeah, let's blow our eardrums out. But I mean, that's kind of one of the problems. I end up turning these out up so loud, it just because they start to sing. The micro details get more and more expressive. The bass gets deeper and more resonant. So in other words, they sound better louder. And I suppose that's probably the tuning with that mid bump and sort of rolled off treble, at least compared to other tuning IEMs. I don't really hear it as being rolled off myself. In fact, the treble sounds phenomenal. Trying to think of anything else that's sort of popped into my head. Vocals, hard pan stuff left and right on that hit the electrostatic range, which I want to say is sort of between 7K and 10K, right in that range. That's where they really pick up the frequencies. That range is just outstanding. And I don't know if, like, I kind of maybe would need to listen to these for longer than a week to really get into whether the mids and the treble are coherent together. I mean, I don't hear it at first listen on anything, but the tuning is kind of exciting on these, so I end up nodding my head, tapping my toes, and I'm not sort of so critically listening to pick up some of those differences. And then, of course, as you get louder, what does it even matter? Okay, 700, I think, and $50 on Linsol. And so the question a lot of people might have is, do you like these, I don't know, compared to other expensive IEMs? And the answer is yeah, I do. I did not expect to. These are my top-of-the-line IEMs. I'm not going to say they're better or worse than anything else, but top-of-the-line meaning they're like my favorites. Among my expensive IEMs might be the Moondrop A8, the Moondrop S8, the Sony XBA Z5, FH7, which I didn't like that much. These just blow those away. Anything else in that price range? Not yet, really. So, best IEMs I've heard. And a couple of the people that have heard, way higher IEMs said they were kind of lacking in the high-end micro detail above 10K, too rolled off. I mean, I can get that. Funny enough, it kind of was bugging me enough, so I did an experiment. I high-passed a song above 10K, not on these, just listening to some studio monitors, and just to hear what all is in there that I might be missing on these. Now, it's not like there's no information there. It's just rolled off compared to the rest of the frequencies. And yeah, there's some stuff there. I don't really hear it as being critical to the overall tonality But you know, everybody has their thing. Some people really like their treble. I really like, so I should say, like really high-end treble over 10K. The treble on these just below that is just wow. Electrostatic heaven, I suppose, or electric, I suppose, because something about these drivers is maybe not purely electrostatic. I'm not sure the technical varieties of that. Well, one thing to know about is the way mine came was we have a 2.5 millimeter balanced plug here, and then we have a adapter, which very nice one by the way too. It doesn't exactly match the other one, but it's nice, to a 3.5 inch. So you can plug that in. And actually, I didn't find that in the case just because I was sort of excited to look at the IEMs when I first got it. And so I plugged them into like my low-powered device. Well, low-powered, whatever. It's like better than a phone. Not as good as a a standalone device, but Radstone ES100. And honestly, I was like, ew. They sounded thin and brittle and like just not nice. And that's because I didn't know about this little guy here, because my bigger devices are single-ended. So I just like, well, I'll play with this just the way it is with the cable and see what happens. And like a day or two later, I tried my big device, an X-Duo 05 Plus with a swapped-out op amp, which gets to like 1 watt of power. And whoa, man, at that point, man, these guys just sing. So I'm thinking I need to try. I'm getting the Voyager 14, the Theaudio, I think as you call it, pretty soon, and I want to compare these two. I'm not sure if I'll actually have them at the same time, so I can A/B compare them, but that's my plan. Be nice, and so I could maybe tell you if these are, I don't know, worth the 700 whatever dollars comparatively to $1,000 for the Theaudio. The Theaudios have like 1 million more drivers than these. So there's that. All right. Take care, folks. Bye.